Please take the mic. Where?
Well, my name is Fresh or LoMeins Fresh. I'm from Brooklyn. The brand is called LoMeins. The brand is a representation of New York. I say that to say instead of looking at New York as a rotten apple or the big apple, I see it as a box of LoMeins. You got different styles of LoMeins. You got chicken LoMeins, you got vegetable LoMeins, you got shrimp LoMeins. And in New York, you got different cultures. You got different people from different backgrounds that make up this one place. So we all in this box together. And the name of the dog is Saki, and it represents the underdogs. And when you spell underdog backwards, you got God Renew. So it's a reflection of just the idea of, even if you pronounce lo mein in Mandarin, it's low man. So at the bottom, but when you at the bottom, you're still at the top.
Damn, that was actually some gems right there. I feel like a lot of people are gonna dissect that, but we'll take that. And just hearing you speak about what the brand means to you, and how far would you say you come from that kid, that dream of starting it, to now? What year did you truly start in your mind? Like
in my mind, the year that I started in my mind.
Yeah, we all.
Probably like, all right.
Where was that like? Oh, this is gonna work moment.
I mean, all right. So I've always been into fashion, right?
Okay.
My mother got me into fashion because she always asks me questions about what she should wear before she goes out the house. And does this color go with this color? So it was something like a bit of training in a sense. So for me, it was like, I would say at a young age, like I always was asked to be a model and stuff like that. But you know, parents, you know, they too busy.
Fly guys,
you can't do this, that, and the third. But my own style, I feel like I emerged as like my own style, like probably at 13.
13.
I always was into fashion though. I always had clothes, like, you know, some of the latest, you know, products and things of that nature. I was always well dressed. But I think when I turned 13, I really got into like that. I found my groove, you know.
It became a language to you more than a fashion.
Yes, it became another mode. It became another mode of expression.
Yep.
Yeah, it became another mode of expression.
You remind me of, would you say one of your influencers were Dapper Dan?
Nah,
Ooh,
I'm gonna tell you that. One of my earlier influences, like, you know, the artists, the rappers, right?
Ooh.
But I would have to say one of my biggest influences would probably be like Kanye. Early on, because of his style,
Creative mindset, your own style.
In addition to the creative mindset, the mere fact that he wasn't tough, but he was cool.
School kid.
Yeah, like he was smart and cool. Like he
Kind
made
of how AN1s were a thing before they were a thing. I'm not AN1s, Jordan 1s, I think.
Yeah, the Jordan 1s, right?
Nobody was wearing
I just yo, listen. I was just having this conversation.
Nobody was wearing them.
I was just having this conversation on Facebook like a couple weeks ago, and individuals were saying, "Yo, dudes just started wearing the ones in 2016," and I'm like, "Whoa, stop!
Yo,
You bugging." I had
school.
2000. I literally got Jordan 1s from 2001.
See?
In addition to that, but I was wearing Jordan 1s like in 2010, 2011. Like I was wearing Jordans when everybody stopped wearing Jordans, when there was no line.
See,
I could go inside of a store and just purchase a pair of Jordans.
So you're embedded more into. You're embedded into it, because like, to me, when you get stories like that, that's like, oh, I was a collector way in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Now these sneakerheads came out.
Mm-hmm. Like if you pay attention, you can look up there. You see the first Yeezys.
You know what's so crazy?
Yeah.
I'm not a fashion guy, but you see those same exact shoes everywhere.
Yeah.
Like they're plastered everywhere. Everyone's looking for them, but they can't get them.
Yeah, those are the blinks.
Crazy. Those are the ones, the very first ones.
Yeah, those are Yeezy ones, the blinks. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, 2009.
Oh, so you a collector? That's like.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a collector. I wear my clothes. I don't collect just to hang it up. I really wear my clothes.
Would you? Okay, so you're not a collector, but it goes back to the same way you would have bought some ones back in the day, and they just so happened to blow up. But you were truly wearing them for your fashion yourself.
I remember like telling my sister like, yo, don't forget my Yeezys, and she's like, these spaceships, like, what do you want with these space sneakers? And then years later, she was like, oh, I see what you mean.
Because you know, the sneaker that got me like that was, my brother did the same thing to me. Kobe Bryant Crazy 8s.
Crazy 8s was cool. I wasn't much of a fan, but the Crazy 8s were cool.
They blew up like maybe like 4 years later. not like in a fashion sense,
but like I get what you're saying.
On the basketball court, everyone just now.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, we're gonna just take a drink. Sorry about that. Okay, so we have that. When it comes to growing up, how did people accept you and your fashion? Would you say you were standing out? Yes.
So, I mean, for me, it was it depended, because early on, like I started wearing like bright colors at an early age, so I was wearing the yellows and stuff like that with Air Maxes. So like I was seen in a sense as a pretty boy sometimes. And the mere fact that my mom moved a lot, I had to always. It wasn't that I had to fit in, but it was like, all right. It was I know people now. It's not me. It's for me. It was more so like when I moved to different neighborhoods, I always stood myself, and the mere fact that I stood myself, people accepted me, right?
I can definitely understand that, especially like when you're new to the neighborhood. There's that group of dudes in the front.
Oh God.
So if they see you in, it wouldn't even be. People look at it as regular wear, they'll say. But if they see you in some sweatpants with a Fire True Religion hoodie, to me, like, are you in it? But
it's different. Like it's a different hit. Like I feel like fashion has changed drastically. I feel like there are a lot of things that are coming back, but for the most part, I feel like fashion is in such a weird space because it's all based on the individual. Like it's so based on the individual. Like some people majority of the people are shopping for comfort, as opposed to like of course they still want brand names because that's just what's cool.
Like easy.
Yeah, but people really want to. They want to shop comfortably. They want to be comfortable wherever they go.
So how would you say you stand out through that? How can you get people to come to you instead of comfortable with you? It looks like you honestly. It should look comfortable. Excuse my language.
Yeah. I mean it is, and I think quality over quantity is the aspect to that, right? Yeah. Because I'd rather go with good quality product and in a limited amount, so people feel comfortable and they know that they're probably not going to see it everywhere, right? In addition to that, how I like the question that you asked is like, how do I stand out? By not trying to fit in, right? By not trying to fit in the sense of staying simple, keeping it like essence to the brand, colors, simplicity, but also that aspect that everybody can relate to. Like somebody from a baby all the way to someone that's 110 years old could wear our product because it's not saying this or that. They look and they see the logo.
Unisex.
They see the dog one aspect and they given the areas like I love dogs, but they could relate.
And get the fashion from like the puffer jacket with the strings on the side. That's
it's different aspects. Like
I could definitely see a lot of different flavors.
You got different. You got chicken LoMeins, you got vegetable LoMeins, you got shrimp LoMeins. You got something different for everybody.
We got the baby clothes here. We got the pink blue. Yeah. We got the winter sweater. We got the spring about to come. We got the light jackets.
We got the little shorts. The
I'm gonna need to cop me a pair of those. I'm gonna lie. I'm Puerto Rican.
We got the sweats.
So I'm gonna need the pink one for sure.
The good sweats. It's different. It's different strokes for different folks.
How do you pick your fabric? What makes you?
How do I pick my fabric? I would pick things in the sense of.
That's our baby wear, by the way, I believe. Or little children's youth.
So I would pick it in the sense of quality, right? How does it feel? I usually go for French terry when it comes to like sweaters, cause I like depending on the weather too. Heavy. It all depends on the weather and it depends on the feel.
What's the fabric you just said?
French terry.
Can you go a little bit more in depth, not too much of like what that means?
French terry is just a certain type of cotton.
Okay. And
it's a thicker. Yeah, it's a thicker aspect of cotton, right? Like you have different forms of cotton, but French terry would be a little bit of thick. It have different levels of it, but it's comfortable.
Okay. So I don't want to tell them your percentage because that's your secret.
Yeah. I mean, percentage is based off of different products. Cost wise and things of that nature. So they have different grades. Just like it's just different levels.
Would you say for someone who's new into the fabric game, and you just said what you said as far as like the different textures, different names of different things. Say if I'm coming into a fabric store, is there something I should look out for as far as measurement wise or
think
weight wise?
I think one should just go off of how they feel, because like for me, when you have a brand, that means you have a canvas.
Ooh, okay.
Right?
Yes.
Majority of creators or creative directors are just like, it's no different from like a painter or a musician, right? Like these are my songs, right? These are my singles.
Okay, I can relate to that.
Or it could be my album. Or, you know, as a painter, this is like my pieces. These are my masterpieces. This is my collection, right? This is a canvas where I get to give you my vision, how I feel, my interaction with the world. So with that, is I would tell that person when they go into the store, go with fabric or prints that speaks to them.
As you're saying this, and I swear I'm looking around, because the more I'm interviewing and hearing your story behind why you started everything, I see it in your clothes. If you see me looking around, that's why.
Nah, that's cool, brother.
It's amazing to hear the story of where it came from, and then actually see the product.
Yeah.
And it actually came true, and it started from here. That 13-year-old
Whew.
mind. That's how we got it. That's how we got where we are, LoMeins, New York. 13-year-old started. Would you say you opened this? You said back in 2013.
No, so we started the brand in 2011.
2011. Okay.
We started the brand in 2011. We opened up the store in August of 2023. And that gap in the aspect prior, like in 2013, the year that you mentioned,
Yes.
I had got sentenced.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, I went to prison. Actually, I got sentenced to 19 years.
You gotta get into this because now I made the whole story interesting.
Mm-hmm.
In long run, I don't want to like overwhelm you.
No.
I sorry, continue. My
No,
bad.
no,
I just
no.
heard you
No,
say that, and
what
that's
kind
just
of-
like a
what's the question?
huge. For someone who said you're incarcerated, how did you keep going? Because you got to start from scratch.
I mean, for me, so
you had to be motivated.
So
and
the
dedicated.
brand, right? This brand, when I caught the case, I started the brand because I was sitting on Rikers Island and I'm like, I can't be remembered as, you know, fresh, that do parties and know how to dress. I couldn't just be that guy. So my thing was, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna leave my fingerprint? And that was me starting this brand. So when I bailed out, I started the brand. And when I started the brand, I put everything that I was going through into the brand. And I lost that trial. And when I lost that trial, my business partner, which is like my best friend, that's my brother, I asked him to take care of business, and he took care of business while I was incarcerated, you know. And also for me, I was doing the same thing. I was working while I was waiting. You know, I got my bachelor's degree from Bard.
Oh shoot! Okay, now we're talking.
Yeah, I trained dogs for puppies behind bars.
Wow.
I facilitated programs. I did tailor shop. I did a lot of working on myself to assist me at this time in these moments.
Okay, so.
And in every facility I went to, there was somebody there that knew about my brand, that knew about the brand, that knew about LoMeins.
It sounds like instead of sitting back and playing the blame game, you did self-reflection.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. It sounds like now I'm sitting here talking behind the camera, and you're more so on, I'm gonna put this in print on myself. Let me put the name on it myself.
Mm-hmm.
How do I do that? With my actions.
Mm-hmm.
So you're incarcerated. That didn't stop you. You got your degree.
Mm-hmm.
You're incarcerated. That didn't stop you from getting the money. You started working.
Mm-hmm.
You clearly had a genuine enough friendship with your friend that's here in New York City for him to continue it.
Mm-hmm.
Was there ever that moment you're sitting in the cell and you're like, should I keep going? I know you said the brand kept you going, but we all have that moment where just against the wall, down.
Of course, plenty of moments.
There's like at least 3 of them where you're starting a career, a brand of your own, and you're like, I started this, like you said, a canvas, blank piece of paper. You got this far, got incarcerated. How did we keep going once life stopped? It just smacked you.
Truthfully speaking, I did a lot of reading, and with that reading came a lot of self-reflection. And that self-reflection, like me going to trial and going through everything that I went through, I felt and still feel that was to see how bad I wanted this. And,
okay.
And when I look at my life today, right, I've been out of prison, was today April 18th. So I've been out of prison a year and a month. So
look at how far you come. Sorry, I had
and this for me, I appreciate that, but I'm just a reflection of you, right? Yeah. So for me, it's just like the idea is what you really think about, you bring about, right? We have this opportunity to either look at to see the cup half full or half empty, and I'm the type of person I'm gonna always see a half full, regardless of how it may seem to everybody. How it looks to me is always half full because I'm still here and I have breath to make sure that I have the opportunity to do what I gotta do.
If you can fall on your back. If you can look up, you can get up. You can get a start wherever you stopped at. That's how I look at it.
Look, I've seen it, and then being around people that had like that idea or that story of complaining about, like, your feet hurting, and then you find or you see somebody with no feet.
Yes.
Like, that's kind of what I was going through. Like, I had 19 years initially, then I'm around people that had 280 years, 120 years, 90 years, 80 years, 75. And it was just like, whoa. All right. Yeah, I mean, I understand my situation is a bit different, but it always could be worse, right? So for me, me staying grateful, I had the ability to give time back through my appeal, my direct appeal. And I got resentenced from 19 years to 12 years, and out of 12 years, I did 10. And
Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
So you had more than reflection.
Yeah.
You go from that 13-year-old kid where it sparks.
Mm-hmm.
Get to 2013, you're incarcerated.
Mm-hmm.
10 years
mm-hmm.
to come out and be sitting in this chair right now, and I'm interviewing you with your own brand.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the positive. How does that feel for you? How does it?
I feel great. Like, personally, like, I wake up every day regardless of how it's sliced, and I'm here.
Shit.
I have a job. I work overnight, and I'm still here. So it lets me know, like, ambition, just the idea of, it's not just me. I have interns, right? I have people who are relying on me. I have a business partner. I have family. I have people in the community that, they come by and they get something from being here. So for me, it's not about me. Like, it's bigger than me. It's always been bigger than me. And that's kind of what kept me moving forward too. While I was incarcerated, I realized it was bigger than me. Like, it wasn't about me, it's about us.
To cut you in the mid of the story, do you have children or any of this?
No, I don't have any children yet.
That's beautiful. You know why? Because that means it was self-reflection completely.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people need to have something, or a mom.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're locked up, I've never been incarcerated in jail or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're chasing a dream and you have those hiccups against the wall, and you don't have no child, you're seeking motivation from any and everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But when you realize, I just gotta get up.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I just had to ask that question.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like everything was just pure genuine. Like, you had your business partner out here. You have siblings.
Family, yeah, my mom, my sisters, like my friends. Like, I had a lot of like women friends that were there for me. Like my mentor, my barber. My father came around. Like I said, my sisters, my brothers. Like, I had family and my close friends. So I'm definitely forever grateful for them.
That's huge.
Even in addition to that, I had my friends from in there, individuals that I built real bonds with, we hold one another accountable.
10 years brothership.
Yeah, like, individuals that I was around, majority of them got their bachelor's degree. They got their AA. They got degrees,
So I would say would you say being incarcerated for that amount of time, how did you find the right people to connect with in there?
In a sense, it's just the same way out here. You got to pick your tribe.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
You
gotta
tribe.
Your tribe.
Oh,
like,
tribe. Sorry.
Yeah, you gotta pick your tribe. Like, if you're trying to go somewhere, you want to have people that are either there or on the same path. So me, if I wanted this storefront, right?
Yes.
You've been to Bed-Stuy in the summertime. You ever heard of Tompkins?
I've been to Graham.
All right, so they have like on in Bedford-Stuyvesant on Tompkins Avenue in the summertime.
I know Williamsburg over there.
They have the market.
Yes.
They cut it off from like Gates all the way to Jefferson, and they have this market, right? So I say that to say, me being there, I was there with individuals that had storefronts, brand like Best Style Fly, the store, Best Style Fly. My brother Steve, and then my other brothers from GBC that's in Flatbush. They have storefronts. Okay. So by me being there with them, at the end of the summer, I end up having a storefront.
Ah, so it became more so if you stay with this flock, you're gonna grow in some way. But if you go, same thing over here incarcerated. Okay, so there are. Would you say there? If that's the case, there are men in there.
Mm-hmm. Men and women.
Men and women who are incarcerated, who want a better life. It's not whatever. Yeah.
Everybody, for the most part, everybody wants a better life.
Okay.
Everybody wants better choices and decisions, but it's about holding oneself accountable. And when you start holding yourself accountable, accountability brings forth responsibility, right?
Yes.
Like, if I hold myself accountable for my actions, then I'm going to have to be responsible for the choices that I make to lead forth action.
So would you say that's the positive part about being incarcerated is that you build structure and accountability?
I think the positive part of being incarcerated, it's all on the person, because I turned the prison cell to a university, right?
Yeah, it sounds like it pretty much.
In the sense of studying, formal education and informal education. So, but having also teachers and students around me. Right, teacher-student aspect is a give and take. Okay. You could be a teacher and a student, and I'm gonna always forever be a student.
So you're humble. That's good. Because they say at our mindset, the human brain develops at 25. I don't believe that. Science is beautiful, yes, but it's again, you've still got this brain working. You can find your way out of something. That's how I look at it, and it sounds like you just kept digging. And sculpting along the way, taking that canvas. All right, if something happens on a lockup, you understand. I don't want to be no parts of that because I got this canvas I'm protecting when I get out of here.
That's major.
When you're peer pressure.
I mean, when I was 23 when I got locked up.
Oh, okay.
I already had my own apartment. I already had cars. I already had a lot of stuff, so it wasn't too much of peer pressure because I knew who I was.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't go in prison and seek validation from other people that I didn't know.
So you weren't with you were with the adults then. When I think of Riker Island for some reason.
Oh, I wasn't on Rikers for long, and I'm grateful for that. I was upstate. I was in Clinton.
You did say that. Yes,
I was in Fishkill. I was in Easton. I was in Sing Sing.
This might be a weird question to ask. I hate going to this, but feds or state?
State.
I only ask that because whoever watches, they're gonna relate. All right, I was in state.
Yeah, I was in the state. I was in the state.
And from my record knowledge of talking to other people, state is not easy.
Prison isn't easy.
Well, yeah, prison is all.
State, federal. I think federal might be a little bit more structured. The state, depending on how you, like I said, a lot of your time has to do with you, right? To a degree.
No matter which one you go to.
I mean, for the most part, you gotta be prison is 90% mental and 10% physical. Okay,
here's another question I would like to ask you, because you overcome all of this, and a lot of people, again, the reason why I keep saying, I would say overcome, and just keep shining that light on you of how much you accomplish. You've done all of those things from that 13-year-old kid with Sparks, 2013, 10 years, come out, open the waterfront with your friend. Sorry, not the waterfront. I would like to say LoMeins, New York.
By the waterfront.
By the waterfront, yes. Brooklyn Bridge, by exactly.
No, Manhattan Bridge. This is Manhattan Bridge.
Dang, Manhattan Bridge. I'm still learning the.
Don't worry about it. Look. That stands for Down Under Manhattan Bridge Overhead.
Okay, cool. I should have seen. Whoa.
Learn every day, brother.
So, overcoming all those things. Would you say no one has excuses?
No way. No. I don't like excuses for the most part. Like when people give me excuses, I'll be looking at them like, you don't want it that bad. Respectfully.
No, seriously.
With all due respect. It might, and a lot of people don't like to hear that. They they want to be soft about it. No, the reality is, there's no excuses. It's either you're gonna do it or you're not gonna do it. Because like I told people, like when I would facilitate programs while I was incarcerated. So I would tell people, you either practicing to stay in or you're practicing to stay out. It's either or. It's no in between, right? Like your success comes in your schedule. It lies in your schedule. Whichever your schedule is how or what you will be deemed as successul.
And a lot of people don't understand the schedule part. We all
they don't
have
understand
our hiccups.
discipline either.
Yes, discipline. Without discipline, you can't have schedule.
So, and I learned this from my father. My father's an entrepreneur, right?
Leader, not a follower.
Yeah, and he's from Belize. He came here. He started. He had an auto repair business, and he just retired. He sold his business and whatnot. And I learned a lot of practices from him. Like, in order to be successful, you need to be disciplined. You can't be disciplined without success.
Okay, and you say your father.
You can't be successful without discipline. Excuse me. Yeah.
Sorry for the interruption. Because you said something that you're right, and a lot of men don't have this. You actually saw your father working. Would you say that was a big influence on you?
Super. Major.
Congratulations to fatherhood.
Yeah, major. Even though, our relationship wasn't the best, but that visual, me seeing him work, it drew me. Like, he would be in the backyard because he had a house in East New York.
Yeah.
He'd be in the backyard fixing cars, and I'll be in the front
with your bike.
Not even because this is I didn't live with my father.
Okay.
So I would go visit him, and he'll be in the back fixing cars, and I'll be in the front. I start my own business washing cars. I went to the corner store. I got the bucket. I got the soap. I got the nap. Everything to clean the cars, so I could have my own money because I seen my pops working. Right? Or I would go pick the grass in the neighbor's yards so I could go to the movies or go get my Chinese food. Because it was just like, if he working, I could work too. Then I realized me and him having a conversation, and he'll say things like he could come in whatever he wanted. Like, he didn't mind being broke in the sense of he worked for himself.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was broke. He may not have the money that people may think he had, but he still was working for himself.
He had his time.
And that's what. And when I really look and reflect on it, my pops is 64. Yeah, my pops is 64. He retired at 64.
That's beautiful.
That's amazing. That's really and
where
he at,
it's crazy.
He's chilling. He's good. He's pretty good.
For him to have his own business and you to see his son probably out there, most likely motivated him. When you come to that father and son conversation, you said you were happy. Would you say there was a talk about finances and how to save your money, where to invest your money?
He wasn't. I didn't learn that from him.
That's.
Yeah.
I feel like that's.
I mean, I did, but I didn't. Like he gave us practices because we would work for him in the summertime, me and my sister, and he would save money from each check. And at the end of the summer, we would go shopping. We would have money to go shopping. We didn't spend all of our money, but that worked only but so much. I learn more now about money management. It's still a process. It's still hard, but if I have questions on things like that, I can ask him, and I would ask him. But he's one of them people that, like, he's driving an old car. He doesn't care about none of that.
Yeah.
But
he's
sitting pretty.
Yeah, that sounds like my dad. For him, it was like, we got allowance, but I would rather get up and get that, like, go shovel and cut.
My father fired me.
I'm crying. Yeah, we had we say allowance, and when I say allowance, what people hear allowance and be like, oh, silver spoon. Nah, like, the backyard is big. You know what it's like to mow a lawn with a manual freaking mower? It's not easy. So that $10 is not worth slavery.
Nah, but see, you know what's crazy about that? Think about this. Think about, he was teaching you, and you didn't notice at the time, but that was a trade.
Exactly. That, honestly, I look at it like that now.
That's landscaping.
I can't. When it came to chores, that's where it started for me, I guess. The structure in that, like, my mom was strict with the board. You don't get paid. You gotta do it because either it's gonna help the family, there has to be a positive, genuine reason for to do chores. Like the dishes, you don't want your house to be dirty. Your mom's yelling at you, but it's like, yo, this is gonna help everyone in the long run. Keep the house healthy, calm. You don't think of it that way as a child. Did you have that same structure? If I'm gonna ask the question.
For me,
how did you grow up?
My mom, like she was strict in a sense, but I didn't have that type of structure. It was more so like, you gotta go to school. You gotta do this. Like it wasn't
like a job.
Yeah, you have to get a job. You gotta go to school. You gotta figure that out. Like not so much of
because you're a New Yorker and yes,
I don't know if this has anything
it has to.
I don't know because my mom is from down south.
Okay.
My mom is from South Carolina.
I'll take that back then. I'll take that back.
She's from South Carolina, but a lot of people think my mom is from the Caribbean because of how strict she is, or was. Like she wasn't strict in the sense like this, that, and the third, but she was a stern person. Like she didn't take no mess. She
when
doesn't
you
take
moved
any
here,
mess.
that's when you feel.
Oh no, I've always been here all my life.
Okay. So would you say her traditional ways of her moving here is what made it that structure? You have to, like a job?
I think her upbringing, of course, affected how she raised me and my brother and my sister. Yeah, I believe I know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that we're talking about your mom, because I feel like
that's a big one.
I gotta get what's her backstory. Let's represent mom real quick.
Yeah, mom's she's the big dog. Hardworking woman.
Okay.
I get my work ethics from my parent. My mom worked, she's still working. My pops, he worked forever, so it was just like that aspect that I didn't have to go and do other things to get money if I wanted it. You know, I know I could get a job. I know I could work for it. You know, I know I could put in the work to get it. My mom's is mad chill. Like, you know, she's into fashion. She's probably somewhere shopping right now at Home Goods or Target or something.
Would you say that was like the little...
I used to go everywhere with my mom when I was younger, so I used to be in a lot of the shopping stores, fall asleep under the racks type of thing.
Yes.
You know?
Okay, so you had the typical childhood of like, I don't want to be shopping with your mom.
Yeah, but I did.
And would you say that was back to that 13-year-old mindset of going shopping and then...
Oh yeah, what? I had a shopping habit bad.
That's good.
Super bad.
So you're embedded from the stitching to like going to the clothing store. Mom says don't touch it, but I need to see what this feels like because I got ideas for later.
Yeah, I mean, I see it now like that, but at that time it was just me being like, you know, I'm an adventurous type of person. Like I was traveling by myself at a young age, so I see things differently. Like I used to look at neighborhoods. When I go to neighborhoods, I look at graffiti to see what gangs is over here. Oh, okay, this is over here. I'm very observant because I traveled a lot by myself, so I had to to be aware. It's basically, you know, your livelihood.
Mm-hmm. It's now that you say like how you took in different styles from, I wouldn't say take, you absorbed New York City, all boroughs, seeing the different.
I wouldn't say all boroughs. I'm sorry. I haven't.
I like
this.
This is that New York.
I haven't frequented too much of the Bronx. I'm not gonna lie. I've been there a couple times.
What's up wrong with the Bronx?
There's nothing wrong with the Bronx. I'm not gonna sit here and say that
it's a New York thing. I feel like
Manhattan, Brooklyn, a little bit of Queens.
You know, you remind me of
no Staten Island. I've probably been on the ferry.
Uncle Murder.
Oh, Uncle.
He just did an interview.
Shout out my son Brown. I was actually incarcerated with one of his friends.
That's hilarious.
And I've seen Uncle Murder on the visiting floor before.
How does that feel to be like? How does it feel to know you're right there with that type of? Now, what it say?
I mean, not for nothing. Before my incarceration, I was around a lot of people, and I still am around a lot of people. Like, I just like to see when they are holding their people down. Me being around artists or celebrities, they human beings. I like to have conversations with them. Like, I met my favorite author, Ta-Nehisi Coates, in front of this store. You know,
that's crazy.
And I had a conversation. I'd rather have a conversation because I know a conversation will go